Hi, my name is Bobbie Fox and I am the Archives Assistant here at the Galt Museum and Archives. And I want to share with you some of our recent donations that we have here in the archives. Please join me. Today I'm going to share with you some interesting new donations we have received here in the archives for the last couple years. This diverse range of materials is available for you to explore and covers a wide range of topics relating to Lethbridge and southwestern Alberta. You can search through it conveniently from home on our online database at collections.galtmuseum.com or by booking an appointment to come into the archives where our staff will be happy to assist you in exploring our collections. I first wanted to start by explaining how our donation process works. So when you bring a donation into the archives, what happens first is that the archivist will ask about the item's provenance and about the person who is donating it. We want to know things like who owned it, what is its backstory, and see if the item fits into our collection mandate. If it does, then it's accepted. So the archives acquires records of enduring value which have historical or cultural significance to the city of Lethbridge and or southwestern Alberta. Our geographical mandate includes the area between the BC border on the west, Bow Island on the east, Nanton to the north, and the US border to the south. The archives acquires all sorts of records from local municipal governments, businesses, clubs, societies, and even private individuals. Now, once you've donated an item to the archives, once it is accepted and accessioned, we have to change the legal ownership of that item, which is confirmed by a certificate of gift that is mailed out to the donor. All of the items that are donated here to the archives, different accessions have value to different researchers. So, for example, one of our larger fairly recent donations is from the Indigenous Studies Archives Funds. It's a large fund collection that consists mainly of research and documentation of Dr. Leroy Littlebear, who was a pioneer of the NAS program at the University of Lethbridge. It is a wealth of information that shows the evolution of the program at the university. And the process of adding this collection to our database was recently completed this year, and as I said, it is an amazing resource. Another large collection that we have housed here at the archives is the Hasselat collection, which is a unique documentation of street views in color of 1950s Lethbridge. As well, family movies can give a candid look of family life during a given era. Diaries and letters as well give a wealth of insight about an individual and the world they are living in at the time of their writing. So we're going to start here with some of our recent donations from 2020. In 2020, the Galt Archives received 87 different acquisitions and accessions. The first one we're going to look at is from the Lethbridge Herald, and it was a donation of microfiche from their collection. So the microfiche collection that we got from the Lethbridge Herald covers from 1904 to 2019, and each one is individually boxed and needs to be put in a special reader in order for it to be captured. We're hoping in the future to be able to actually scan it and have it available for people. The next item we're going to have a look at here is a donation from the City of Lethbridge of assorted signs and posters related to COVID-19. In here we have copies of letters that were sent out to residents, as well as some different signs that the city posted that dealt with passing on information to the residents of Lethbridge during the pandemic. It's important to note that when we do our collecting of information and items and donations, we not only look at the past, but we also look at recent events as well to kind of protect them so that people in the future, when they're doing research, will have access to that information. The next item we're going to have a look at is the Bressler Funds. So this is a collection of sketches and letters and papers from a area rancher named Bressler. and it has a bunch of his drawings and things. And it's important to note, once we have processed an accession, this is how most things get stored if they are made out of paper. The next item we're going to have a look at was donated actually from the Lethbridge Terry Fox run committee. So the committee donated posters and promotional items, as well as administrative records from the beginning of the run being held, and the events from 1981 right through until 2020 as well. Our next 2020 donation was the Michael Pisco Funds and the City Sign Company records. So this donation is quite interesting. It has ledgers from the business records from the City Sign Company, as well as family photographs from the Pisco family for researchers to go through. The last 2020 donation that we'll highlight is from the Southern Alberta Group for the Environment, also known as SAGE. So most of this particular donation is all the letters and different kind of administrative documents that were printed off of floppy disks that talk about the work that the SAGE group did. Now we'll move on to highlighting some of the 2021 donations that we've gotten so far. So the first one that I want to highlight is we had a digital donation of photographs and videos from the Black Lives Matter rally at City Hall. So as I said, we do like to collect things that are also more recent history events, as well as things that happened over the last 100 or so years in Lethbridge. So these are just a small example of the images that were collected from the Black Lives Matter rally in Lethbridge. The next donation is a series of telephone books from the Alberta Government Telephones Company. So this is one of the many directories that were donated from AGT. This particular one is from 1964, so if anyone remembers what a telephone book looks like. This donation here is kind of a mix of information and items. It includes slides from the Schwartz building fire in 1979, as well as some different recipe books from, it looks like the 50s, 60s, 70s. So as you can see, this is, if anyone's wondering how we store, this is how slides are stored once they get here into the archives. But all these images can be scanned so that people can have access to them and use them for research purposes or posting on websites or sharing with family, depending on the topic. So the next item that we're going to have a quick peek at is from the Anne Campbell Singers, and one of actually many donations we have about this group. This is the most recent one that is just sorted records from administration and their list of their song inventories and things like that. We'll move on here to our second last item for 2021. This is really interesting little item here, is a promissory note for the Raymond Buddhist Temple. So this promissory note dates from 1919. You can get a lot of interesting information just from that tiny little document. Our last item we're going to have a look at was given to us and donated by the Lethbridge Fire and Emergency Services. And it's one of many donations that we also have from the fire department. And what it is a collection of their protocol binders, manuals, and other materials that they use to train their firefighters and emergency responders. I hope you enjoyed seeing a little sneak peek of some of the recent donations we have here at the archives. If you have an item that you are thinking of donating, please come to us before discarding it. You never know what gem of information it may hold for future researchers of Lethbridge's vibrant past. So thank you for joining me today, and we hope to see you soon here at the archives.